Hey guys, this is Justin with survivalreviews.com. Before I get into the unboxing of this Hi-Point C9 pistol, I do want to provide full disclosure. MKS Supply, the marketing machine behind Hi-Point, sent me some of these firearms to review. I will be sending it back. It's not like I get to keep it or anything. So it's just for review purposes. I have to send them back. So I want to let you guys know that, and that my review is not biased based on that, but you know, full disclosure, I didn't have to buy these. So what I've got here is a Hi-Point C9. You can see that it's the model C9 9mm Luger. The box for it, 9mm CP, MKS Supply LLC. And just to open up the box and show you what we have. Now, before I get into that, though, I want to talk to you guys. I'm sure, because I have mostly positive things to say about this firearm, and I want to make sure that when I do that, that I don't hear anybody or have any YouTube comments about, oh, he doesn't know what a quality gun is, and you know, you just like Hi-Point and all that. You're a fanboy for Hi-Point. So this is one of my carry firearms right here. It's a, let me get it in the frame. It's a Springfield XD 9 3.8. This is one of the ones I carry. This is another one that I regularly carry. It's a Sig Sauer 1911 Nightmare. Here's another one that I regularly carry. It is a Sig P229 40. Sometimes I put the 357 Sig barrel in it. So let's eliminate that right away, that I don't know what a quality handgun is, and I'm just a Hi-Point fanboy, and all the other garbage that I'm sure some YouTubers will undoubtedly leave on my channel. So I wanted to get rid of that. Excuse me. Opening up the box for the C9, what you'll first see is you've got the actual pistol wrapped up in plastic, and originally it had an orange sticker. Had an orange sticker around the handle. I removed that because I didn't want it to get in the way of the tabletop unboxing and review. So in the box we've got the pistol. We've also got the ghost ring sight and a little wrench to put it on with. The ghost ring sight appears to be plastic. But you can install that on the gun if you want. Other than that, the gun has a 3-dot sight, and the rear is adjustable with the little adjustable pivot screw here. So you can adjust the rear sight, 3 dots, or you can replace the rear sight with the ghost ring. And then also in the box we have a dual lock, and that's LOK. That's what Hi-Point calls it. We've got the dual lock. It's basically just a trigger lock that comes with the gun. I never use these, but they supply one in the box. You guys read that on there? Dual lock. It goes together like this. You've got the dual lock wrench adjustment tool here that comes with it. And if anybody has the carbines, I've got a couple of their carbines that I really like. You'll know that this is the same tool that they give you with the carbines for disassembly. But what happens is you put this over the trigger. Before we get into that, let's just make sure that our firearm is safe. So we'll drop the magazine, pull the slide back. There's nothing inside the firearm. We can even stick our finger in there. Yep, I can feel the breech. There's nothing inside there. So how this trigger lock, dual lock trigger works, we take our dual lock, put it on the gun, on the trigger guard like that, push the other part in, take our wrench adjustment tool. There's two holes there. There's two little prongs on top of this. We push it in, turn it clockwise, a half turn, pull it out. Now the trigger is locked. Okay, to take it off, we just do the reverse. We stick the wrench adjustment tool into the holes there. We're going to push it in. We're going to turn it counterclockwise, a half turn. It'll pop out like so, and then you can take it off. Also in the box we have the instruction sheet for the firearm, and this just basically goes over, you know, some of their limited liability. Also talks about the parts of the gun, shows you how to disassemble the gun, the care and maintenance of the gun, and all the different parts if you had to order another part from High Point. So the High Point C9 comes with one magazine. It's an 8-round magazine. They do have 10-round magazines available. The barrel length is 3.5 inches. The weight is 29 ounces. And the overall length of the gun is going to be 6.75 inches. The frame is made out of high impact polymer material. The slide is made out of what High Point calls ZAMAK, which is a zinc aluminum alloy. And you know, it feels like that zinc alloy, you know, that you've seen maybe in models or something like that. It's kind of a strange feel to it. It doesn't really feel bad, but it's pretty heavy. The slide definitely looks like it's big and beefy, you know, as compared to, let's say, another pistol that has a steel slide. The zinc slide definitely feels heavier, considerably heavier. And I think that's because they're made that way intentionally, because it's a single action blowback design. So actually the weight of the slide keeps the breech closed until it's fired. The pistol, the High Point C9, is rated for +P ammunition, so that means you can shoot really hot ammo through it, and it won't be a problem at all with it. The magazine, see if I can do this. I'm going to release the magazine, see if it drops free. Yeah, the magazine drops free when you drop the mag. And the mag seems to be of fairly good quality. It's a SIG mag to compare. It's a single stack magazine. As you can see, the SIG is a double stack. It certainly seems to be pretty good quality. It's got the little opening holes in the magazine so you can see how many rounds are loaded into the gun. The gun has a slightly irregular shaped mag well here. You know, it's not quite as smooth and as contoured as you might see in another type of firearm. So if you look at the SIG over here, you can see that there's nothing that could get in the way of you putting in the magazine, but there's a For the high point, you've got some lips here and some surfaces where the polymer grips go into the polymer bottom of the pistol. There's a definite positive sound when the magazine goes in, so that's good. You know that the magazine's fully seated. This gun does have a magazine disconnect safety, which means, let me rack the gun here. So I guess this is a point that I actually don't like. A lot of people do like this, but I don't care for it. When you rack the magazine back and you've got an empty magazine in, or if you've shot the gun dry, the slide will lock back. That's a slide lock, or slide last round open lock, which is fine. But what is strange with this is because what's strange with it is that you have to, I don't have a slide release lever on the gun, so I can't get the slide to close. Now if I was putting in a full magazine, it wouldn't be an issue, because with a full magazine in, I can pull back on the slide and it'll go closed. But with an empty magazine, you actually have to take the mag out and then pull back on the slide to release it. Some people like that. I guess it has to do with the magazine disconnect safety. So you can see I can squeeze the trigger now. Nothing happens. As soon as I put in the magazine, pointed in a safe distance, of course, then I can squeeze the trigger. I will say the gun retails for $189, and you can buy these all day long for $150. And for $150, it's a good deal. This is a good gun. You know, I'm actually kind of surprised that I'm saying that, but for $150, you're probably not going to be able to beat this gun. I follow a lot of the forums on Facebook, the High Point Owners Group, some other forums, and people really, really love these guns. In fact, do I think you could conceal the C9? I think you could. I think you could conceal carry the C9. I've got a High Point 45, and I'll talk about that one, but I don't think that one's as concealable. But you know, if you look at the size of this thing compared to the size of my SIG, it's actually smaller than the SIG. Now it's a little bit heavier than the SIG, but it's smaller, certainly comparable side by side, the size. So yeah, I think that you could conceal carry the High Point, definitely. It is 100% American parts, which I really like. It's all made in the USA. It's an American company. The fit and finish on the gun is not perfect, but you wouldn't really expect it to be perfect for a $150 gun. You can feel some rough edges here with the polymer where the sections were put together. There's some rough ridges here, and then up here at the front where they have the serial number of the firearm, there's some rough ridges. There's also some rough areas here in the zinc alloy slide. You know, so it's not as polished and as smooth and as pretty as a more expensive gun, but again, it's a $150 gun. So, you know, you're definitely not getting something like this, but you're getting a gun that's going to be reliable and that's going to be accurate enough for self-defense distances, definitely. And again, you know, there's some people that completely love the High Points. They love these pistols, and it's their preferred carry weapon. You know, it's their preferred gun. It's their gun that they grab when they want to go plinking. They may even have other guns available, but they grab their high point because they like it so much. It's got a safety here. The safety is actually pretty easy to use. You'll see a lot of gun reviews on the web. They'll talk about, well, the safety's kind of hard to flip on and off. It's really not. I didn't find it difficult at all to engage or to not engage. It works very well. It actually slides up into a little groove that's on the slide. The slide on a high point is considerably larger than I'm used to shooting other handguns. It's tall, it's wide, and it's thick. And if you take a high grip like I do, I like to have a good up high grip on my guns when I'm shooting it. And I've got a fat hand, so when I grab the gun and I'm holding it to shoot it, you know, there is a tendency for the slide to potentially come back and hit my skin there and give me what's called slide bite. So that's definitely a possibility. For somebody that has a fat hand like mine, if you don't have a fat hand, you're probably going to be alright. If you look at my SIG, I can grip up high on the SIG as high as I want. That slide, when it comes back, it's nowhere near my hand. There's a good, I don't know, 1/2 inch to 3/4 of an inch clearance there. But that's not the case with the high point. It is right up against my hand. But again, I don't really fault the gun for that. I really just fault myself for that. I don't think that's the gun's fault. You may not have a problem with it at all, like I did, or like I would. I will tell you the trigger has very little play. It is a plastic trigger, polymer trigger. It's got maybe 1/8 of an inch play, and then it breaks pretty cleanly, which is surprising. I actually think it's a pretty decent trigger for this gun. The trigger on my SIG Nightmare, this actually has a custom match trigger, and it's about 4 pounds lighter on the SIG Nightmare than it is on the high point. But again, for what you're paying for this gun, that's a pretty good trigger. I don't see any issues with it at all. If I drop the magazine, even if the gun's loaded, it won't fire till the mag is in there. 3-dot sight setup. The front blade of the front sight there is painted yellow in this one. The back dots are orange. Polymer frame, polymer grips. The grips are a little smooth. They do have some ridges here though for your fingers. It's not an uncomfortable gun to hold. Fairly comfortable. The C9, because it's a compact handgun, and I use that term a little loosely because it's not really that small of a handgun, but the C stands for compact. It doesn't have any rails on the front for accessories or anything like that. The serrations back here on the slide to rack the slide could potentially be a little bit larger. They're kind of small. If you notice on some of these other firearms, you know, they're much deeper, much longer. And they're much more pronounced than on the high point. So again, MSRP on the high point C9 is $189. I think that you can find these guns all day long and twice on Saturday for $150 or less. And overall, I think that this is it's a good gun for the money. I definitely do. I'm surprised again to say that because I've been a gun snob in the past, but I think for what you're getting and the price point, I don't think you can go wrong with this firearm. One other thing I want to mention here is it's got a chamber observation port on the side, which means that it's just got a little hole there so you can see if the firearm is loaded or not. Again, a good gun for the money, and especially if your budget is small, you don't have very much to spend on a handgun, a C9, a high point C9 will work better than a baseball bat any night of the week. And I would definitely rather have this than my bare hands or a knife or a club in a fight. This could certainly be used as a self-defense firearm. So one last thing I wanted to touch on, I forgot to mention earlier in the video, is that the number one thing about the High Point brand, any of their firearms, is their lifetime warranty. It is better than any other firearm in the industry that I'm currently aware of. There's some other ones that are pretty good as well. You know, Sky is another one that's pretty good, but the great thing about this is not only is it a lifetime warranty for the original owner, it's a lifetime warranty for the lifetime of the gun. So if you sell this gun to someone, you trade it to someone, they'll have a lifetime warranty as long as they own the gun as well. So it follows the gun. It is a lifetime warranty. It's pretty much no questions asked. If you have a problem with a High Point firearm, they will fix it for you. They also usually give you a magazine, an extra magazine for your trouble. I'm certainly not guaranteeing that they'll do that for you, but I'm just telling you those have been the stories that I've heard and that I wanted to share with you. So you give this to your son, one day he'll have a lifetime warranty. As long as he has the gun, he trades it or sells it, it'll also have a lifetime warranty wherever it goes, which is pretty phenomenal and unheard of in the industry. So I think for that reason alone, this gun is worth every penny that you would pay for it. Thanks guys. Please subscribe to our YouTube channel. Visit us on www.survivalreviews.com. Hit us up on Facebook. Comment on this video. Tell us what you thought. Thank you for watching. Charlie Mike.